Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a good day. Okay, so today our group, which is group 3, will be going to present about the article about the fraud detection and prevention methods in the Malaysian public sector, which are in the accountants and internal auditor perceptions. Okay, so firstly, my name is Nur Izzati binti Amir Hamzah, matric number 272628. We'll be going to present about the introduction part. So as you can see in the slide, it shows that the data that is collected by the KPMG that is recorded, where are the fraud perpetrators came from. So as you can see, the first one, 50% from the fraud perpetrators came from the employees. So for your information, this data is collected in 2019, where in 2009 is only recorded only 34% from fraud perpetrators came from the employees. So this is a bad sign to company, because employee is one of the important elements in a company that hold many important information regarding the company activities. And secondly, 80% came from the customer and management, 8% came from the service providers, and 6% came from the suppliers. Okay, so the next one it shows the type of fraud, which is firstly theft of outgoing funds, secondly theft of physical asset, and thirdly is theft of incoming funds. So what is outgoing funds and incoming funds? So outgoing funds and incoming fund, it is about the flow of the funds in the company's account. So in this case, it tells us that companies, the fraud perpetrators, steal the funds of the from the company without any company consent. For example, they steal the money from the company's account. And secondly is about theft of physical asset. For example, for physical assets such as inventory, car, and so on. So for example, in this case is maybe about one of the employee from the inventory department recorded the amount of inventory less than the original one, so that they can take the extra one for their own benefit. Okay, so for the next slide, it shows about the meaning of fraud prevention and fraud detection, which is fraud prevention is about to measures to stop fraud from occurring in the first place, while for fraud detection is about identifying fraud as quickly as possible once it has been perpetrated. So traditional approach to detect and prevent fraud like auditing is not sufficiently effective and only enable fraud to be detected months after the day of the transaction. So in some cases, the consequent huge losses cause the organization to lose sustainability and the business would consequently collapse. So in this case, it shows that the understanding of fraud will become vital, because the organization start to know that the fraud perpetrators are one of the elements that can damage their companies. So by this statement, it shows that they want the identification of the most effective mechanism to detect and prevent the occurrence of fraud in the public sector. So for the next part of this presentation, I will pass the literature review part to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Anu Mohaimin. My matric number is 272747. So I will continue with the part of literature review. So in this literature review, it consists of the summary of this research and also from other articles that this writer have compiled together and do a literature review. So the first one that we can get from the literature review is internal control system was the most effective instrument for detecting fraud. I think that's all of us know that the internal control is very important in an organization or in the public sector, in the company, that this system has most effective instrument to detect fraud. And then the second one is forensic accountant is essential for an organization with the intention of decreasing the number of fraud occurrence in a public sector. So this is because they has advantage to investigate beyond the figure over traditional auditor or accountant method, because they specialize in that part. With the help of forensic auditor, as an expert witness should at all times apply his skills and experience to support his expert opinion regarding an evident or issue. So two these two people, which is forensic accountant and also forensic auditor, is very important and um, effective organization to detect fraud. This has been proven because some research in for public sector, which is federal government, state government, local authority, and also statutory bodies, has been proven that this forensic accountant, with the help of forensic auditor, can detect fraud with more efficiently. And then the next one is they found technology advances has derived proactive fraud detection technique, concluded firewalls, password protection, and also computer viruses. So in this article, we do not see that some research in the public sector, but they have found that Islamic Bank found effective fraud prevention and detection method using protection software. So it has not been proven by the public sector, but the Islamic Bank in Malaysia have used it. And another type of fraud prevention and detection method is involve red flag. So this has been they have been doing a research to the auditor, and the results show that auditor who use a red flag questionnaire in fraud risk assessment measure a more comprehensive potential fraud indicator. So I think that the use of red flag questionnaire have give more impact to detect fraud. I think that's all from me. Let's take a look at data and analysis. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Hazar. My number is 26875. So now I will explain data analysis and findings. So in this part there are three components that will be discussed. First of all is fraud awareness, and the second is the assistance of fraud detection and prevention method. The last one is fraud technology. But I will only explain one component, which is fraud awareness. Okay, as it is known that the awareness of fraud is the responsibility for everyone that involved in the public sector of accounting or in the government. Therefore, to find out if public sector employees are aware of fraud in their workplace, the researchers are conducting a survey with 10 questions. As a result of the findings, shows that the respondents are fully aware of the capabilities and the responsibilities for fraud detection in their organization. Okay, based on this result of a survey that has been conducted on employees regarding their awareness of fraud that occur in their organization, it appears that 75% agreed that organization has been a victim of fraud and expected an increase in number, and 74.5% agreed on the pressure of government employees in meeting certain demand that is beyond his or her authority. This means that the government decide over and above their authority exclusively to follow order from the superior, even when governments are aware that can put pressure on their employees. The last one is increase awareness of fraud by conducting training and courses. So by doing this is one to improve government competence in fraud detection and prevention method, as well as improving accountant and internal auditors' knowledge and skills in dealing with fraud issue in their department. I think that's all from me. I'll proceed to the next present.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Nusa Zuina Sahira binti Muhammad Sabri, metric number 272464. So I'll proceed with the existence of fraud detection and prevention methods. For the detection and prevention of fraud, the accountants and internal auditors will play an important role. Based on the data analysis in the article, there are several procedures and software that were used in the public sector, which have been listed from the most frequently used to least frequently used. But I only focus on the least used procedures in the public sector. So why the three procedures below are among the least used in the public sector? So first is whistleblowing policy. This could possibly due to the fact that Malaysia has limited provisions to protect whistleblower. So Malaysia should have a specific legal protection for whistleblower that would address anti-retaliation provision and encourage good faith. Second is fraud hotlines. Generally, fraud hotlines would provide a secure and discreet way of giving information or tips as it is characteristically private anonymous. However, the use of fraud hotlines is also very limited in the public sector as few departments provide such facility for the staff to report unethical practices. Lastly is the mobilization of forensic accountants. This is possibly due to the absence of a specific department in the Malaysian public sector that provides forensic accounting expertise. So I think that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nazata Nazira binti Narisha, matric number 272697. So now I will continue to present the last part of our group presentation, which is fraud technology. So the first one is fraud technology actually has been used in the public sector in Malaysia to detect and prevent fraud from occurring in the organisation. So here are some of the fraud technology that has been used or most frequently used in the public sector in Malaysia, which are virus protection, password protection, firewall, discovery sampling, and also continuous auditing. Actually, based on the data analysis in our article, I found out that actually there are more fraud technology that has been used in the public sector, but this one are the most frequently used or most popular to be used in the public sector in Malaysia. So from the use of this fraud technology, we can see that actually public sector in Malaysia are aware of the importance of using fraud technology or fraud software in detecting and preventing fraud from occur in the organisation. However, public sector in Malaysia will have some limitation in implementing fraud technology or software because of lack of financial allocation and also skill compared to the private sector, where private sector tend to invest more in the technology because they want to enhancing their skill in protecting their organisation and preventing the fraud from occurring in their organization. So the use of fraud technology or fraud software actually is very important in any organization because it can help internal audit to detect any fraud occur and can evaluate internal control to prevent risk. So I think government should provide more training for each of the employee to enhance their skill in using the fraud technology or fraud software, because it is very important to increase an internal control system in the organization in order to prevent fraud. So that's all from me, and it's the end of our group presentation. Thank you.